ดีครับมาพบกับผมหลังกับลูกาเอลและโอเกมเมอรี่นะครับแล้ววันนี้เรากลับมาที่ Genshin Impact กันอีกครั้งนะครับผมมาลุยกันเลยดีกว่าครับผมเฮ้ยทำไมไม่มีเสียงล่ะพ่อค้ามอนสเตอร์ซึ่งตอนนี้อยู่ในหมู่บ้านเหรออ่าฮะแบบไรฮะใช่ไหมฮะมอนสเตอร์เฮ้ยเดี๋ยวก่อนนะอืม
Boats are made for transferring commodities.
Traveler, you've come at a good time.
Wait, this sounds like another commission.
It is as you say. The commission this time around is of high importance. It pertains to the safety of the Avidia Forest's inhabitants.
Huh? What happened?
Not long ago, we received word that a section of the Avidia Forest seems to have become contaminated.
Contaminated? You mean a new withering zone?
I don't know about the specifics, but I hear that strange things are happening to people who cross through that region. The Avidia Forest inhabitants won't leave their homes so easily. If we allow this contaminated region to expand, the consequences could be unimaginable. That's why I want to ask you to investigate the situation. Even if all you can do is stop the contamination from spreading, that will still save many people.
This is forest business. Maybe Tainari will know something. Let's go find him.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Okay.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Okay.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the Adventurers Guild?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Oh.
Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said, Ad Astra Abisask. So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Subzerus Festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children.
You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity?
No, we aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homiyanis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her.
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival.
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here.
Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
ดูหน้าไพตอนเด็กเจ้าเล่ห์สดเอ้ยอะไรนี่อะไรนี่ทำไมจู่ๆถึงคาบฉากกันเลยอ่ะอ้าวฮะงงไหมเนี่ยเอ้า
This is where you've been, Tainari? That's...
นั่นมัน
Keep your voice down.
Tainari, everything's spinning.
Oh.
Am I going to die?
ไม่หรอกมั้ง
Tell Mom that I should have listened to her. And tell Suna that I'm sorry for breaking her toy. I didn't tell her because I was scared that she wouldn't play with me anymore. Tainari, I heard that people turn into birds after they die. Is that true?
ไม่จริง
I feel like I'm getting lighter.
What happened? Tainari, is he?
Okay, enough nonsense. You just have a small fever. Take your medication and rest. You'll be bouncing off the walls in no time.
Really? Then can you keep the thing about the toy a secret for now?
No can do. You're a big kid now. Once you've recovered, go and apologize. Keeping secrets to yourself won't solve anything.
Oh.
Hey, let me ask you something. I recall that you're usually pretty healthy. How did you get this sick all of a sudden?
I don't know either. Mom's been telling me not to play in the forest. I just wanted to look inside. It's different from before. I got lost and went around in a huge circle. After I got out, I started feeling dizzy.
Could it be?
So that's how this whole mess happened. Anyway, go rest. No running around until I say so, got it? Traveler, Paimon, let's step out for now.
Mr. Forest Watcher, how is my son?
I gave him some antipyretics. Let him rest here for a while. I told him that he would feel better after some medicine and rest, but I only said that to comfort him. His symptoms resemble a fever, but something else is causing them. They seem more akin to a disruption in his psyche. Antipyretics won't be of much use.
What do we do? Mr. Forest Watcher, you have to help him.
If memory serves, a plant called Vasanti grass can help soothe the mind. A small number grow in arid deserts. They usually look like shriveled weeds, but can be revitalized with a splash of water. They're expensive and unable to grow in the Avidia forest's climate, so I don't have any on hand. I'll ask the caravans. Go find Kale, have her prepare medicinal tools and a set of traveling gear for me.
All right. Thank you.
Contaminated region, huh? Is that why you two are also here?
Yep. Is it a new withering zone?
Doesn't seem like one. Whether you look at scale, internal conditions, or resultant effects, they're completely different. The only thing they have in common is that they aren't welcome. This nuisance made itself home in the Avidia forest, so I can't turn a blind eye.
We feel the same way.
All right. Let's contact the caravans first and purchase some Vasanti grass. We can also ask about the contaminated region. There's no time to waste. We have to move quickly. Let's go. Excuse me, I'd like to purchase some Vasanti grass. Do you have any?
I'm sorry, Mr. Forest Watcher, but we've been closed for the past few days.
Closed? Now that's odd. It's my first time hearing you say something like that.
It's a long story. Some of our goods were stolen recently. They were mechanical parts that we got from the academia. Although they're old models, they still fetch a good price on the market. Our caravans had to pull together more to afford those parts. Now that they've been lost, we'll likely come up short this trip. All the merchants talked it over, and we decided to raise the prices of our remaining inventory. Until this plan takes effect, none of us can privately sell anything.
I don't get it. If these goods are so important, then why not think of a way to get them back? Raising prices won't solve anything. At best, you're shoving the consequences of the robbery onto your customers.
Mr. Forest Watcher, it's not that we don't want to. It's just the thief disappeared into the deepest parts of the forest. We asked around, and apparently the forest has been very unusual as of late. Anyone who goes in experiences mental anomalies. We can't keep waiting out here for the thief to come out. All we could do is come up with another solution.
So the bandit hid in the contaminated region after stealing those mechanical parts. How many people were there in total? Were they not affected by the contaminated region?
That crook came from the contaminated region. As for how many, there weren't any people.
No people?
Even if I tell you, you might not believe me. Fine. The thief that stole our parts was a huge mechanical crab.
What the heck? The Avidia forest has creatures like that?
To be honest, I'd rather not think about it. It moved too skillfully to be new at this. It came out of nowhere. Before we could react, it swiped our goods and ran away. We were all shocked. By the time we came to our senses, the thief was already long gone.
I see. If we help you retrieve your stolen goods, then business will return to normal?
Oh, but of course! Not only that, but you'll become one of our caravan's VIPs on all future purchases of any...
Enough. Tell me something that's actually useful. Any leads on that mechanical crab?
Maybe one. After our goods were stolen, we specifically got someone to assess the situation. If you're interested, you can go and talk to them.
Okay.
All right. We'll go and have a word.
Okay.
After the goods were stolen, I made multiple inquiries with nearby caravans and residents. It turns out that many others have also been robbed by that crooked crab. However, the crab only seems to be interested in machinery. It doesn't even bat an eye at other valuables. The caravan carrying a large amount of Mora had an uneventful trip, but another caravan had a child whose metal toy was taken. Whatever the case, that thing is a scourge. We'll eventually think of a way to get rid of it.
Okay. ผมก็เปลี่ยนตัวไปแล้วรู้สึกว่าต้อง deal with the contamination area ครับผม
Everything's ready. Let's go.
เอ้ยลืม
Let's investigate this.
That mechanical crab is fast, strong, and a pain to deal with. 10 of us might not even be able to take that thing head on. Didn't the academia ban research on mechanical life forms years ago? Where did that thing come from? Our salaries even got slashed because of it. Who would have thought that that robber wasn't a human, but a mechanical crab? This is rough.
I heard from the caravanners that there have been a lot of robberies lately, but we haven't been affected. We don't normally see the mechanical crab, and it doesn't disturb our daily lives. It only shows up when the caravans are here, and it runs back to the contaminated region after it's done making a mess.
You haven't tried capturing it?
We have, but it's too agile and fast. However, we did unexpectedly learn something the last time we tried to capture it. It apparently lives in the deepest part of the forest, so instead of immediately moving its spoils, it first hides them nearby. Once its stash grows large enough, it moves everything in one go. You'll have to move fast if you want those goods back.
ซึ่งได้ข้อมูลใหม่มานี่ครับผม
How are things? Did you make any progress?
We learned of its behaviors, but much still remains unclear. Assuming normal operational status, mechanical constructs generally act according to their given commands. If I were its owner, I'd command it to steal more valuable things. Or the Mora you made. That would be the most efficient method. But it only goes after mechanical components. This doesn't make any sense.
Right. It's really weird.
So, you all found a way to retrieve our goods?
Do you have any more mechanical parts with you?
Yes, I still have a small bag of samples. They weren't taken since I keep them on me at all times. Oh, are you planning to...
Under constant external conditions, organisms rarely initiate changes in their habits. Here's what we know so far. It has a mechanical composition, it lives in the contaminated region, and it comes out to steal mechanical components. If we have said components, we can lure it out, capture it, and then make observations for further conclusions. Well, chatting like this won't get us anywhere. We're only wasting time.
You're right. We don't have any other options right now. This bag of samples is all yours, Mr. Forest Watcher. If you can get our goods back, the caravans will reward you generously.
We don't need anything in return, but I'll be keeping this bag. I may have other uses for it later. We'll also need to borrow a sumpter beast. Our act has to be convincing if we want the crab to fall for it.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. If it means getting our things back, you can even borrow me to do whatever you need.
I'll have to decline that offer. Anyway, we'll use the mechanical components and sumpter beast to pose as a transiting caravan and lure out the crab. Once it appears, capture it. I leave the timing to you.
Don't worry, we're professionals.
Looking at the trade routes and the contaminated region's current perimeter, the goods were likely stolen somewhere around here.
Then let's get to it. We'll definitely capture that criminal crab.
Okay. We'll start from here and have the sumpter beast with the components on board lead the way. This sumpter beast isn't familiar with us yet, so be calm and take your time with it.
Okay.
The sumpter beast went ahead. Let's keep up with it.
อ๋อไม่ต้องเดินเร็วไปเนาะ
Why did it stop?
คือทำไมอ่ะ
Looks like it's loafing around. Or maybe it's hungry. The caravanners grew disheartened after their goods were stolen, so they probably didn't feed their...
All right, it's moving again.
คือผมให้อาหารมันไปเมื่อกี้เลยวิ่งเลยพูดยังพูดไม่ตอบเลย นี่เราบอส
Did you hear something? Is that the mechanical crab the caravan was talking about? It's charging straight at us!
It looks strong. Be careful.
ระวังด้วยทุกคน
Solidify!
My apologies.
Just try to escape this time, you naughty caravan-robbing crab! Hey, playing dumb won't save you. Spill it! Why are you stealing so many mechanical parts?
It doesn't seem capable of comprehending complex questions. Keep an eye on it. I'll search around the area for the caravan's goods.
ไอ้นี่ที่ลอยๆอยู่นี่อะไรอ่ะ
I don't know why you're stealing mechanical parts, but they don't belong to you. Stolen items must be returned to their rightful owners. Any objections? You came from the depths of the contaminated region, right? How about you help us with something? If you take us there, I'll give you some mechanical parts as a reward.
Oh?
It reacted!
We can't be certain yet. Its excitement may be a simple programmed response upon seeing mechanical components.
Okay, so you want the crab to lead us into the contaminated region?
That's right. The contaminated region has a large and currently expanding perimeter, so it would be difficult to conduct a thorough search. If we charge straight in, we'll get lost like headless pigeons. Also, our new friend here seems to be full of secrets. I've been studying this contaminated region recently, and I have a hypothesis of my own. So to be absolutely safe, it would be best to have a guide lead the way.
Paimon gets it now. Does the scuttler understand what you're saying?
It doesn't have to, as long as it isn't hostile towards us. I gave it some components that it will definitely take back to the contaminated region. So long as it doesn't attack us, we can simply follow along.
It seems to be really happy.
Listen to me. Wait for us here. No running off. We'll be back soon. If you're still here when we return, I'll give you another mechanical part as a reward. Understood? I'm not sure, but our priorities are to retrieve the mechanical components and to purchase Vasanti grass to make medicine with. We should return, but before we do, we need to set up a few traps. Can't have that crab escaping.
วางกับดักไปเนี่ยเดี๋ยววางกับดักไปแล้วเหรออ๋อไอ้เขียวๆนี่คือกับดักนี่เองครับผม
Oh! These are the mechanical parts that were stolen! You really got them back for us! Thank you all so very much. I don't know how I can repay you. Wait, didn't you want to purchase Vasanti grass? Don't worry about the price. They're on the house. How many do you need?
2 is enough.
No, that won't do. Here, I'll throw in some more.
No need. I've already received a reward from you.
Reward? You mean that bag of mechanical parts? They aren't worth much compared to this merchandise.
But those parts are very useful to me. Just like the Vasanti grass. I retrieved the things you needed, and you gave me what I needed in return. We're even. Oh, and before we go, just a reminder, the forest has an intricate and biodiverse ecosystem. Even if there were no mechanical crabs, other dangers are still present. Take caution on this route.
Noted. Thank you all ever so much.
Let's return to the village. The earlier we can give the child medicine, the sooner he'll start feeling better.
ผมเพิ่งเคยได้ยินคำนี้ครั้งแรกนะ Thank you ever so much ไม่มีใครพูดกันนะผมว่าเพิ่งเคยได้ยินครั้งแรกเลย
Oh, hi there, Traveler and Paimon. Master, I prepared the pharmaceutical equipment. Do you need me to help grind the medicine?
No need. A precise dosage is required this time, so I'll do it myself.
Oh, okay.
But once I'm done, you can deliver the medication to the child. He gets a little nervous when I'm around for too long. I don't think he finds me very approachable. I'll go prepare the medication. Traveler, give me a hand.
ได้ดี
How is he? Doing any better? I feel like he's doing a lot better, and his temperature is returning to normal. It's wonderful! Oh yeah, he asked me to tell you that Suna came by earlier, and he told her everything about the toy. Suna didn't get mad, so he wanted to thank you. Can I ask what happened?
It's nothing. Did you prepare the traveling gear I asked you to?
Of course I did. Are you going somewhere far away?
Yes, we're going to the contaminated region. Judging by its size, we will likely have to stay overnight. I'm leaving everything to you while I'm gone.
Huh? But I can't even begin to compare to you.
Many things are learned by doing. And once they've been done, you'll realize they weren't as difficult as you once thought they were. Deal with problems as you yourself see fit. You don't have to emulate me.
That's right! You'll do great, Kale. Alright, then I'll do my best. Master, Traveler, Paimon, take care of yourselves.
We'll be all right. You'll understand the reason for this excursion once we arrive at the contaminated region. You put too much confidence in me. Anyway, like you said, things will likely be uneventful. Let's return and find that crab.
We're here. This should be... Huh? Where's the crab? Did it secretly scuttle away?
The traps weren't triggered, so it should still be here. You honored our agreement and waited here until we returned. As such, I'll hold up my end and give you another mechanical part. Keep it safe. I'm not giving you another one if you lose it. Glad you're satisfied. If you want more mechanical parts, take us deeper into the contaminated region. I want to see what happened there. What caused the Avidya forest to become like this?
So this is the contaminated region that everyone's been talking about. Oh, it definitely looks different from normal. It's like really creepy and suffocating.
Do you feel unwell at all? Good. It's as I predicted. Elemental power confers a degree of resistance against the contaminated region's influence.
How do you know that?
I haven't entered the contaminated region for a proper investigation, but I've conducted quite a few controlled experiments. My observations during our time here have all but confirmed my hypothesis. Look at these flowers. How are they different from normal? This flower species is formally known as the Sumeru rose, but it is also known as the ley line lodestar. They're sensitive to ley lines and emit varying amounts of light in response. Excessive brightness indicates a dangerous level of ley line activity in the surrounding area. From the looks of things, the ley lines around here are already out of control.
You're saying the contamination here is coming from ley lines?
I can't confirm that right now, but I think that is the case. Let's take another look around and see if we can discover more clues.
You know, we haven't seen any animals this entire time. The birds used to chirp really loudly, and there were a lot of foxes.
This contaminated region currently appears to have a critical efflux of ley line energy, which is probably the root cause of the patient's cognitive disturbances. Some animals have keen awareness. They sensed something abnormal in this area and fled.
Leaky ley lines sure can cause a lot of damage, huh?
Like how plants have preferred growth conditions, we also gradually habituate to our surrounding environment. Climate, temperature, humidity, intensity of ley line energies. When people live under fixed conditions, they reach a sort of homeostasis with their environment. This equilibrium is broken when the surrounding environment abruptly changes, causing people's bodies to react in abnormal ways. If normal fluctuations in temperature occur, then our bodies automatically adjust. However, the average person cannot adapt to changes in ley line energy, and so they fall ill.
Then why are we okay?
I'm not sure why you are, but he and I are fine because our elemental capabilities allow us to adapt to this kind of change. Of course, it's not a good idea to spend too much time in areas with concentrated ley line energy. The only one who can freely traverse this place is probably the mechanical crab. That's about it for the investigation. Help me find an open space. I want to test something.
เหมือนหมาเลยตรงเห็นการกระทำของมันแล้วผมคิดถึงหมาเลยครับผม
Environment, no wind. Target parameters, normal. Setup complete. Excellent. Looks like it's working.
What's this?
A purification device that I made. It can absorb excess ley line energy and temporarily stabilize an area.
What a neat thing! Let's set up more and cover the entire region!
I wouldn't mind if that would actually work. Unfortunately, once this contamination is present, it isn't something that a few purification devices can fix. The purification devices have their limits. At best, they can only prevent the contaminated region from expanding temporarily. If we want to permanently eradicate the contamination from the ley line effluents, we'll need to tackle the source. That's right.
Huh? The mechanical crab is acting a little strange.
Something's approaching. So that's it. Now that the ley line energy has stabilized, the monsters that had left are starting to return. Get rid of them quickly. Don't let them get close to the purification device.
Take flight!
Gather! Burst forth!
Whew! That's all of them!
โอ้โหมีพวกเพิ่มด้วย
Hey! Where are you? Wait for us! Let's hurry and keep up!
ตามไป
The mechanical crab went that way! Let's keep up!
Help! Help!
Coming to beat!
Whirling snow!
Order guide you!
Witness my great undertaking!
Take flight!
Spare me! Please spare me!
Hey! Are you okay?
These injuries are superficial. Don't move, I'll patch you up.
Who are you all? What happened to those mechanical monsters?
Don't worry, we took care of them.
Oh, good. That's it. It's a monster! Hurry, attack it!
How do we explain this? Krabby here isn't a bad guy. It heard you shouting for help and brought us here to rescue you.
It's faking it. It has to be. Maybe it's gonna partner up with the other mechanical monsters and kill me. Do you know what's inside the forest? It's all crawling with mechanical freaks. I just came here to pick herbs, but I accidentally went into the contaminated region and almost died.
I gotta get out of here. Oh, yes. Yes. I have to escape. Be careful. These mechanical life forms are up to no good. It'd be best if you stayed far, far away from them. No wonder the Academia wanted to completely ban the existence of mechanical life forms. Those things should be annihilated!
Are you?
His inarticulate speech and bodily tremors indicate psyche disruption. He's been inside the contaminated region for too long. We've purified the ley line energy over there. Follow this path out and you'll soon see the village. At that point, someone will bring him to Kale for help. I already prepared medication that will return him to normal. So you think you did a good job and want a part as your reward?
It's so hard to understand.
Alright, regardless of what you're thinking, you did some real good this time. That's why I'll give you another mechanical part. Need any help with it? Guess not. Well, make sure to hang on to it. What was going through your owner's mind when he made you, I wonder? You're like a giant mechanical crab on the outside and a fluffy little hamster on the inside. And also, how do you feel about that person saying that you're as evil as the other mechanical life forms?
Okay, it definitely doesn't understand you.
It seems like it possesses limited understanding only towards matters related to mechanical components. Help others to get parts. That's probably its thought process. As for why it, or rather its owner, is collecting so many components, I'm not sure. It's getting late, so let's set up camp for the night.
Okay.
Hey, over here! Come on, you big lummox, raise your head and look up!
ผมคิดว่าทุกคนคงโดนมาเหมือนกันครับผม
Let's set up camp here.
Alright, Paimon also thinks it's a good spot.
Oh. Any particular reason?
This place is perfect to put up a big tent.
อย่าง
We
เช่น
can also set up a cooking pot and cook tons of delicious food.
อย่างนี้นี่เอง
You're not wrong, but the primary reason for choosing this place is because its higher elevation keeps us away from the water vapor below. Rainforests are very wet. You should always be careful when spending the night in damp places. For the next tasks at hand, let's divide and conquer. I'll set up the tent, you'll be in charge of making the fire, and Paimon will forage for edibles nearby.
Leave it to Paimon. Paimon's a pro.
I'm not expecting that much. Just do what you can. That's right. You can use rushes to start a fire in the wilderness. Their piths are relatively dry and can be readily set aflame. The downside is that they produce a lot of smoke.
Traveler, Tainari, Paimon couldn't find any food.
ตั้งงั้น
Paimon didn't know that rainforest had so many interesting plants until we came here. They were all sort of weird-looking mushrooms, but Paimon didn't know which ones were edible. Paimon also saw wild berries on the ground, and Paimon was gonna fly over and pick them up, but the dead leaves on top suddenly started moving. It freaked Paimon out.
Those were probably dead leaf butterflies. They camouflage as dead leaves to evade predators. My guess is that they mistook you for a bird when you flew over, so they fled. Little did they know that you were more scared than they were. Never mind. The tent's up, so you two go rest. I'll forage for food. Oh, you found some already.
Paimon understands it this time. It wants mechanical parts again.
Sorry, no part this time. That task wasn't important enough. If every little thing resulted in a reward, then it might start to take advantage of the system. I'll note little things like this and give a cumulative reward at a later time. That is one reason.
It looks really sad.
After some further thought, it might come up with some weird misunderstanding if I don't give it something.
Good thing.
All right. I'm off to prepare dinner. We'll take shifts on lookout duty tonight. You two can sleep first. I'll wake you up later.
We need lookouts?
Yes. Even though most animals fled because of the ley lines, we can't completely let down our guard. It's settled then. I'll set up some pest-repelling devices so poisonous insects don't come crawling into the tent. Have a good night. Not too good, though.
เดี๋ยวเราต้องนอนไม่ใช่เหรอต้องนอนพักผ่อนไหนขึ้นไหนละสุดท้ายเยี่ยมยอด2 เท่า2 เท่าหมดเลยครับ
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist.
Paimon's getting sleepy. Is this because of the ley lines? It's been a while since we camped outside like this. This feels like when we just started adventuring together. Nighty-night.
You're awake earlier than I expected. Did you sleep well? That's good. I was worried that you two wouldn't be able to sleep, so I specially used 2 of my homemade incenses. Don't worry. They're made from all natural ingredients. They have a light fragrance and aren't harmful to the body. Speaking of which, have you seen the crab? It was scampering around over there just now, but I don't know where it went. So you can tell. My suspicion is less towards the crab and more directed to its unrevealed owner. A ley line effluence of this magnitude occurred without any warning. Someone probably disrupted the natural flow of the ley lines. Until we fully understand the situation, take extra caution. The academia has banned mechanical lifeform research for years, so the origin of these creatures is very suspect. Topics related to mechanical lifeforms were popular in the Spontama for a time. Some of my juniors had also thrown themselves into such research. They proposed an intriguing idea. Use our knowledge to create a new and practical lifeform that could help humanity conquer nature. However, no matter which modules or parts are installed, a machine is innately a construct that receives and executes commands. They can never possess self-awareness like us or other living organisms. In their pursuit to discover the differences between mechanical and biological lifeforms, zealous researchers performed unregulated vivisections and other absurdly cruel experiments on animals. The irony is that the researchers became even more impetuous afterward. Who knows? Maybe this subject will be unbanned in a few years. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm interested in the topic of mechanical life, but I don't like the researchers' attitudes. It's just my personal opinion. My ancestors and the Valuka Shuna of the desert coexisted together and supported one another. The bloodline of my people was born from this symbiotic relationship. So to me, all life is important. To understand life, you must first respect it. Life is not an expendable commodity, and knowledge should not be wielded like a scepter. These are the points of contention I have with some researchers, and why I left the academia. By placing yourself above other life forms, what kind of results do you expect to get from researching pure life with impure intentions? Really? Well, I'm glad to hear it. Coffee? Did you prepare this for us? All right. Seeing that you're working so hard to help out, I'll give you another part. You're not planning on using it. Many of your own parts are critically degraded, and you're running low on power. All right. Suit yourself. Oh, and thanks for the coffee, but I'm about to go to sleep. Leave it with him. The night watch is yours. Stay safe.
ว้าวดูแมปดิโอ้โหสวยมาก
Sorry. Paimon slept through the entire night. Really? You're not mad? Don't worry. Paimon will be sure to stay awake next time.
Good morning, Traveler and Paimon. Quick question. Do you feel off at all? Me too. The farther in we go, the closer we get to the source of the ley line effluence. We'll be heading out earlier today. I'll take down the tent.
Is there something we can do?
Extinguish our fire so we don't set the entire forest aflame. Also, retrieve the pest-repelling devices from last night. We don't want to affect the ecosystem here.
Got it! Paimon will take care of the fire.
All right. Let's meet back here later.
เดี๋ยวก่อนนะเก็บอุปกรณ์
All right. It's about time to head out. As we go further in, we may encounter more berserk machines. The effects of the ley lines will also increase. If you're struggling, it would be wise to avoid conflict. Try to conserve as much energy as possible until we reach the source of the contamination. As I thought, the closer we get to the contamination source, the more mechanical monsters that appear.
Solidify! First point!
Whirling snow!
This is order!
My apologies!
Order guide you!
Live!
It stopped here!
Upon closer inspection, the plants here are really different. Ley line energies are also stronger here. This may be the place we've been looking for. Ready yourselves. We're going in.
เป็นดันเจียนโอเค
There's a ton of mechanical monsters here. They made this place their lair.
Looks like there's no way to sneak by. Let's take care of them quickly. Enshroud!
Stabilize!
One with the forest. Let's nip that in the bud. Take flight.
Forest ranger. Forever.
Whirling! Coming to be!
What is this?
Ley line energy is spilling out from here. This device, it's extracting energy from the ley lines without end. Who in the world would do this without considering the consequences? The ley lines won't be able to repair themselves if their flow is perpetually disrupted like this.
That's terrible! We have to stop it! Paimon see. Paimon doesn't see controls anywhere!
Standing here is equivalent to being directly showered in ley line energy, which may cause irreversible damage to your body. Take Paimon and get out of here. I'll see if I can find a way to turn this thing off.
ไม่ทำลายเลยอะ
You're also vulnerable to the ley lines, right? We're staying. We can't leave you here by yourself.
Then let's look for it together. If there is no control unit here, then there must be a trapdoor somewhere.
You know where it is? Hey, wait for us!
ตามไป
What's this? It'll only show up if you step on it?
Be careful and watch your step.
Look! Someone's here! Are you the one that's taking the ley line's energy? Turn off that machine now! Why aren't you saying anything?
His body is cold.
ตายแล้วเหรอ
It's emaciated, and his eyes are sunken, likely from chronic malnourishment and stress. He collapsed and never got back up. What exactly?
มันเกิดอะไรขึ้นกันแน่
Almost forgot about you. Here, this is the last one.
What is it doing?
I'm not sure. Judging by this room's layout, this place was a laboratory. We should find a repository of research documents if we keep going. The file room will definitely give us some clues, so let's go take a look. Maybe...
อาจจะเจออะไรก็ได้
Wow! It's huge in here!
This place is a natural hiding spot with how hidden it is. The pipes continue further. Let's head in.
Did you two find anything?
There are a lot of lab notes, but it would take way too long to read through them all. I found a tape recording used for an experiment, and based on its serial number, it's from 2 years ago.
Tape recording?
Yes, the Spontama created a device that visually records experiments and consolidates the final production into a tape. However, these devices are expensive to make and aren't entirely stable. That's why they are only used in some laboratories and do not see wider usage.
Come on, let's watch it.
Hold on, let me figure out how to play the tape. There. Ah, okay, this should do it.
Okay.
Kakata? Kakata? Seriously, I look away for 1 second and you're gone? There you are. Look here. This is our new home. I, Abatui, will unleash my talents here and amaze those ancient fossils at the Academia. Oh, you're also quite happy. Kakata, do you know what we're about to do? Yes, I thought not. Listen up, Kakata. I'm going to make a mechanical life form that can be mass-produced. The technology will be unlike anything else that exists. I'll use mechanical organs, and electric currents will course through them like blood. A steel-cast heart that will beat forever, and a brain of myriad components that can think like mine. Inspiration from the ruins and the research that the Academia had banned. I hope everything can start anew from this place. When you can understand our language and live among us, you will no longer be a boring machine, but a truly living being. It's fine. You will understand. One day, you will understand me.
Karkata is the mechanical crab, right? And that researcher named Abatui said he wanted to prove something to the Academia?
I remember now. I had a junior researcher named Abatui. He was expelled from the academia for researching mechanical life forms.
Junior researcher?
Yeah? Well, what's wrong?
Nothing. Paimon was just wondering, doesn't Abatui look older than you?
He is, but academic progression isn't tied to age. I finished my studies a while ago, so subsequent students generally considered me as their senior.
Oh.
Of course, age can be an issue. For a while, people always dragged me into pictures. I felt like some kind of animal on display. That isn't important. Let's go and see if we can find other tape recordings.
Okay. สวยอ่ะสวยมากข้างบนเดี๋ยว
Look! Paimon found another tape! A date is written on it. Let Paimon see. It's from a half a year ago!
That's quite the time gap. I wonder what happened in between.
It's rare that you malfunction because of an operational error. Seems that making coffee is still somewhat difficult for you. Or is there an issue with my set parameters? All right, there you go. Water entered the chela and caused it to short circuit, so it couldn't receive signals from the ganglion. Look at me, talking to you like this. You can't understand me anyway, can you? It's fine. I swapped in some new parts, so you should be all right now. Try moving around. Everything in working order? Be more careful next time. We're tight on money right now, so we don't have a lot of parts or power to spare. I'm glad. Karkata, did you know? Yesterday, I dreamed that you could talk. Aren't the bunch at the Academia always saying things like, mechanical intelligence is just an extension of statistics? They were blown away when they saw us talking with each other. Too bad it was just a dream. Forget holding a conversation with me. You're so simple that you probably wouldn't even notice if I died. Never mind. I should probably be worrying about next month's power.
After Abatui left the Academia, everyone lost contact with him. I thought he was so despondent that he gave up on researching mechanical life forms. Instead, he had holed up here and continued his experiments.
Paimon doesn't feel like he's a bad person. He even changed out Karkata's broken parts. Why would he mess with ley lines?
Let's keep looking around. Following the serial numbers, the next recording should be here. The writing is sloppy. Perhaps his state of mind had changed. There's also an undated tape in the wrong spot. Doesn't seem like Abatui put it there.
Maybe Karkata helped him with sorting.
It's hard to say. These are the last 2 tape recordings. Let's watch them.
Sorry, Karkata. I was just thinking about something. Today might become a special day. In my recent experiments, I successfully gave you a living being's instincts. When you're low on power, or if one of your parts is damaged, you will prioritize your survival command and proactively recharge or replace your parts. That is a very dangerous thing. And today, I did something even more dangerous. I've officially activated the 3rd generation ley line extractor. The ley lines will serve as our power source from now on. Conducting research on mechanical life forms requires a large amount of power. Even if I scrimped and saved, the more I have wouldn't last for long. I'm also getting tired, Karkata. I don't know what's driving me to continue with this research anymore. They say that even if it simulates the operation of a living creature's organs, a machine is still an ice-cold tool. I want to prove them wrong. I want to turn you into a living, breathing, and talking being. I'm not talking about anything cheerful, Karkata. Modules for language, emotion, and movement. I've been working my absolute hardest to augment and refine your functionalities, but I've never seen an effective response. You are my finest success, but even you can't understand me. All you can do is execute limited responses based on preset commands or keywords. Karkata, I wish you could speak to me, even just once. Yes, you cannot understand me, so you cannot answer me either. It is what it is. In a few days, I'll sell the failed ley line extractor for some more and continue my experiments. Life goes on, and I have to as well. I don't have any other choice. This is new. If I place another 2 control modules here to simulate the brain's thalamus... of course my heart decides to act up now. Why did I cut medication from our expenses? Karkata, come help me. Strange. I feel weak. Oh no, I have to shut down the extractor. Shut it off. If we let them recharge indefinitely, they'll go out of control. Right. I never input a command to shut down the extractor, so you don't understand what I'm saying. In the end, it's just like the Academia said. Mechanical life forms only bring danger. My research... Was there any point to it at all? I'm sorry, Karkata. In the end, I still wasn't able to turn you into a true mechanical life form.
I see. So the ley line effluence was an accident. After Abatui's unexpected death, the mechanical monsters were driven by their instincts and continuously drew out power from the ley line extractor. This eventually resulted in severe damage to the ley lines.
Paimon understands. Then why didn't Karkata go haywire like the other machines?
Because Karkata is different from the other machines. Structures similar to living organisms, the ability to cry and laugh, and capacity for independent thought. To Abatui, only a machine with these features could be considered a mechanical life form. Perhaps only by building such a machine could he have the Academia acknowledge his protracted research. But if he had slowed down and saw Karkata as a friend instead of an experimental product, he would have noticed. Karkata can't speak. And yet it cares about Abatui far more than it does about itself.
What does that mean?
You'll see in a bit. But before that, we have a more urgent task at hand. First, let's find the control unit for the ley line extractor and shut it down.
Okay. อยู่ไหนแล้ว
of this transparent flooring. It feels like a maze. Below us is the final room. The control unit is likely in there.
The land's here! Wanna try jumping down?
Stabilize!
Burst forth!
Take flight!
Enshroud! Keep up!
Whirling snow!
Gather!
Live!
My apologies!
Burst forth!
I will have order! Stabilize!
Whirling snow!
This should be the control unit. Once we turn it off, the ley line extractor should also shut down. Without an external force damaging the ley lines, they should start to slowly repair themselves. Oh, but I bet you two are more worried about Karkata. Let's head back.
อย่าบอกนะว่าไอ้คาคาชาเนี่ยจะเป็นสัตว์เลี้ยงตัวแรกในเกมนี้ไม่แน่นะ
Hey, collecting parts because it thinks doing so will fix its owner?
Karkata is unable to understand the concept of death. However, it probably remembers when Abatui replaced its parts when it malfunctioned, and how that restored it to an operational state. It's true that Karkata isn't able to think or understand many topics, but it is like a small child that imitates what adults do.
So that's why it kept stealing mechanical parts. But it can't repair its owner, no matter how hard it tries.
Yes, but the important thing is that it formed the thought of wanting to repair Abatui. No one knows how this thought came to be, but it has even suppressed the instincts that Abatui had installed. If it really is as we've predicted, this research truly will make waves in the academia. It might have been possible to achieve this with ancient technology, but no one has been able to do the same with modern tools.
Karkata? Karkata? Can you hear Paimon? Tighnari says you're awesome!
It reached its limit. It hasn't recharged this entire time, nor has it replaced its severely damaged parts. It's a miracle that it managed to hang on for so long. I'm going to confirm that the ley line extractor has shut down. Come with me. Let them be alone for a while. The ley line extractor has ceased operations. Traces of ley line energy are still in the atmosphere, but the effluence's source has been stopped. The purification devices will handle the rest. Moving on, those affected by the ley lines need immediate care. We'll put up an announcement on the bulletin board about the dangers of entering the contaminated region, and for symptomatic individuals to find Kale. According to the Academia's policies, we need to bring everything back. Research materials related to mechanical life forms will be destroyed, and Karkata will be disassembled and sealed away.
What the heck?
You two should return first. I'll take care of things here. Although we've stopped the source of the effluence, the ley line energy in the air exceeds normal values. Your bodies won't be able to hold up if you continue to stay here.
But...
Listen, the Traveler hasn't rested very well, right? Also, it'll take some time to pack up all the research documents. You're not familiar with this research after all, so you won't be of much use here. Tell the Adventurers Guild that the incident has been resolved, and then get some sleep. We can discuss matters tomorrow. Oh, and don't talk about Abatui. The fewer that know about mechanical life form research, the better.
All right. Then let's go back to Catherine.
Okay.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages. No way, that's too risky.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught?
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru.
I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core of 30 guards, intentionally avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me.
Have you already caught the sage's attention?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
Are we really out of ideas? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the beans already.
According to a popular theory from the Bahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it could work. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilou.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert, and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Sataria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Cetaria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and to have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Okay.
This should be Cetaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Cetaria?
No, I already have enough information on Cetaria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics.
Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh. My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the Lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Health prospects. No problem at all. The gods have spoken. The truth shall be revealed. Your life shall continue on for many tens of thousands of years? Impossible. Harut, Marut, did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is, suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Okay. Oh dear.
Is this another one of Cetaria's favorite stalls?
Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Cetaria a lot when she first moved to Sumeri City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret, and I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
This should be our final stop. Setaria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia, so she always comes by whenever she's out in the city.
Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens, after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Huh? Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, that's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
What an admirable spirit for learning! Amazing!
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Guess that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Was that everybody?
3 familiar faces should be enough for Setaria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Setaria face her problems.
Setaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember that you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of the Scarlet King. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Setaria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now! You want to take advantage of the guilt Setaria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages. So how do we set that up?
Well, the Scarlet King is long gone, and Setaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of the Scarlet King's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply that they've already converted to the faith of the Scarlet King, and then convey our made-up will of the Scarlet King. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break full.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know how to possess anyone.
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does he have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Here she comes. Sataria's here.
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
Okay. Paimon's starting to feel kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong? I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
เฮ้ยเดี๋ยวมันชื่ออะไรนะมาลอนอันแรกมั้ง
Are you sure? Those aren't ringing a bell for some reason.
Well, actually they have many names. Which names I use depends on my mood.
Huh, I see. I imagine that must be hard for the kitties, too.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have come for another echo of the divine voice of wisdom.
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
Sorry, your new laugh is just so hilarious. I couldn't help it.
Please pay no mind to those kinds of details. The gods are asking, Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Setaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all, the Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Oh, wait a second. The Scarlet King passed away a long time ago. Even though news of the Scarlet King's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can the Scarlet King still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am the Scarlet King's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Oh, she just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset, too.
Well done. Setaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harabatop theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Setaria.
He's out of Keys now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better?
ดีกว่าดีขึ้นแล้วแขนนะไม่ใช่แล้วขา
Oh, that's good to hear. I I've been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off, I'd love to pay him a visit. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah, he's been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Please pass on that recently, faith in the Scarlet King has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those Scarlet King believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or the Scarlet King? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray the Scarlet King, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean you've also become a believer of the Scarlet King?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this.
You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sataria. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Anyway, let's keep going.
ก็คือโจนี่ผมก็มันตอบเหมือนกันเลยอ่ะก็คือข้อแรกอันแรกตอบข้อที่สอง
Sataria's already started talking with Shishan.
อันแรกตอบข้อที่สองแล้วอันที่สองก็ตอบข้อที่หนึ่งอย่างนี้เหมือนกันหมดเลยอันแรกอันสองอันแรกผมตอบผิดอันสองผมตอบถูกนะ
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
ไม่รู้ว่าเอาแต่เรียนอยู่ในห้องใต้ดินเดี๋ยวก่อนนะเดี๋ยวมันโอ้ใต้หลังคาเบสนั้น
Wait, did you just say attic? I thought this place didn't have an attic. Also, don't you usually study in the basement?
Well, the restaurant recently added an attic. I've been studying there because it has better lighting. Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to the Scarlet King as well!
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects?
Please, please stop!
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
ครับผมคำตอบเมื่อกี้คือในหัวผมมาตอบถูกแล้วก็คือเบสเมนต์ห้องใต้ดินแต่ภาษาไทยตก ได้ไปตอบเอเด็กเฉยเลย
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards. What should we do?
This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening in the city.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
The Scarlet King! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
The Scarlet King is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of the Scarlet King, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King.
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of the Scarlet King. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of the Scarlet King? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the Sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zeru's festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see... let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
The Academia entrance? Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap. I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the Academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side.
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. He's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and guardian of the scholars?
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
โอเคครับผมทุกคนมันจะตี 3แล้วครับผมผมขอจุดไปแค่นี้ก่อนละกันเนาะ
A blade is like a tea leaf. Only those who sample it many times can appreciate its true qualities.
แล้วไว้พบกันอีกทีในคลิปหน้าแล้วกันครับสำหรับวันนี้สวัสดีครับ